Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Sunny D. I'm here with GFT Radio and my crew. We want to welcome you guys to tonight's show. Clint, Jabril, where y'all at? Say hi.
What's going on, people?
What up, everybody?
Yeah, we're going to bring it in tonight. If you guys are listening currently, you are currently at blogtalkradio.com/GFT Radio Show. If you're not listening, you can definitely call in and listen, 657-383-1155. The call line will be accepting calls at 10:15, so you guys can call in and add into the show, join in, give us your advice, your thoughts, and things of that nature. But tonight's show is basically about, are we raising an entitled generation? Are we basically giving our kids everything on a silver platter, not making them earn, or just, making it so easy that they never learn any life lessons like how we learned? But definitely join in and call into the show. Let us know your opinions. We're going to be tweeting while we're doing the show, so hit up at GFT_radio.com, or if you're going to tweet us, hashtag it GFT Radio Show. Jabril, you want to bring us in?
Yeah, of course. As she said, we're going to be talking about the how we're raising kids in the entitled generation. It's not just our kids. I mean, it's the generation before us also. Yeah. I've seen plenty of times. My son is 11. And, he plays sports. He plays baseball, basketball, football, soccer. He's done it all. And it makes me think of that car commercial where the dad and the son are walking back to the car. And he looks at the trophy and it says the participation trophy. And he's like, you guys were state champs and all this other stuff. And nowadays, everybody gets a trophy, just for participating. And it's crazy because I remember growing up, we didn't get trophies. You didn't win, you didn't get a trophy. There was no participation trophy. There was no, good job. You guys came in second place, third place, whatever. If you didn't win, you weren't getting a trophy, which is crazy. It's not just sports, it's school also. I can think of times hearing on the radio or talking to people. My wife's dad, he teaches high school, and you have people in high school who are graduating and still reading or comprehending things on elementary school levels. They're just passing them through because they don't feel like dealing with them. That's a major issue that we're going through right now. Kids not understanding how to do basic math. Kids don't understand, basic vocabulary words, can't read, can't write in cursive. There's simple things, and that's an issue. And, just pushing these kids along and letting them get away with these things is not how it's supposed to be. That's not how the world should be running and operating. And you're basically just enabling these kids. You're basically setting them up for failure. That's what you're doing when you do things like that. There's no appreciation. Like I say, when it comes to sports, everybody gets that trophy. There's no winners. There's no losers. Kids are going to grow up thinking that they're entitled to something every time, whether they win or lose. It shouldn't be like that. You got to teach kids, stop being so soft with these kids and teach them the reality. Like, hey, you're not going to win all the time. You're not always going to get a trophy. You're not always going to get a ribbon. Somebody's going to be better than you. Somebody's going to do something better than you. And you just can't get a trophy or a medal or a prize just for trying. That's what your parents are there for, to support you. You shouldn't have the organization, okay, we got to get 1,000 trophies for a bunch of kids, even though 10 of them play on the team and they're the only ones who won't really win. It just doesn't work like that. Clint, would you?
I definitely agree with you. I think, I really think this generation and partially the previous generation was entitled and spoiled, and I believe it's like you said, it's the parents' fault. All my little brothers play sports or whatever. The oldest of them, he's 15, and he's a standout football player. He was a freshman last year, one of the very few freshmen to start on the football team. What I noticed, going to all his games through Pop Warner up until now, is a lot of parents. And sometimes, I'm even guilty of this. We don't let our kids go through growing pains. And if they do, if we see them out there struggling, now we want to make excuses for them. You know, I see parents that are like overbearing. You know what I mean? Screaming at the coach, why my son can't play this, that, and the third. Well, maybe your son would play if he earned his spot to play. You know what I mean? It's just not, you know what I mean? I think going into it, that should be explained as far as sports go. Like, that should be explained. Like, this is not, you know what I mean, come play. You know what I mean? You have to try out. You have to be able to make the team. If you do make the team, you have to be able to earn your spot and earn your time on the team. You know what I mean? And the parents can't be all on the coaches and stuff like that, screaming at the coaches, screaming at the refs. When your kid make a mistake, you always make an excuse for them. You know what I mean? Like, you know, my brother's a running back. So when that's why I say we're guilty of this at times too. So when he's running and scoring all these touchdowns, you know, everybody's all happy. But when he doesn't, it's, they're not blocking for him, this, that, and the third. It's never his fault. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know personally, I've done that before. Like, come on, man, y'all not blocking for him. But just 2 plays ago, he just ran for a 60-yard touchdown. Somebody was blocking for him. So stop making excuses for him. You know what I mean? He should have ran better, or just the other team was just that good, and they stopped him. And, you know, what Jabril mentioned, which is way more important than sports, you know what I mean? But it's the same mentality. It's when it comes to school and how they treat these kids in school and just passing them along. You know what I mean? It's like the standards. I went to 2 different high schools in 2 different districts. You know, first I started out high school. I transferred from Trenton and went to Pennsbury in Pennsylvania. Their standards were higher. You know what I mean? They held, I think I mentioned this before on the previous show, they held those kids more accountable. They held us more accountable over there. So it wasn't that the kids over there were smarter or had more access. They just, the structure was different. You know, when I transferred back to Trenton High, the standard wasn't as high. And like Jabril said, they was just passing kids along, you know what I mean, making it easy for them. You know, and I think when you make it easy for somebody, they never learned hard work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when they fail, it's like it's never their fault. They don't know how to take responsibility. Yeah. And I think that comes with being entitled, with being spoiled, when you refuse to take responsibility for your failures. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think that's a big thing. What you think, Sonny?
Well, I think like I said, as far as the school base is concerned, you know that No Child Left Behind was like the thing that was passed, and I think that's where we got lost, because you want everybody to pass, you don't want anyone to fail, but they had to, like, you know, back in the day, if you didn't do X, Y, Z, you stayed back. There was nothing anybody could do. You stayed back, and you had to try it again to get to the next grade. It was no, oh well, you know, we gotta make sure everybody passed. No, if you want to make sure that you know what you're supposed to be doing to get to a different grade. And even now, I don't know if you guys have been following with the news, with the standardized tests. I get that they have a certain standard for the thing, but at the same time, you knew that if you didn't pass these certain tests, you didn't go on to the next grade, or you just didn't go anywhere, because you had to be able to say that test held not only you accountable, but your teachers accountable for what they taught you in the classroom, and you had to be able to understand these things to get to the next grade. So I think, like with the and how it's happening now is, now you can opt out of taking tests. It's becoming like an issue full circle. And like as far as sports are concerned, I was a Pop Warner cheer coach, not an assistant coach, assistant coach, and seeing the parents and how they reacted, and how, like, I remember one parent felt that their kid was entitled to do a certain stunt because they felt that their kid was that good. But at the same time, you have to earn. With Pop Warner, I know with cheer, I don't know how football is, but if you sign your kid up, you make the team. There is no tryout. It's, you want to have your kid do something, sign them up for this, and they're on it. No matter if they want to do it, no matter if they got to try out, there's nothing. You sign up, your kid is a cheerleader and things of that nature. So and then even if we go to competition and things like that, we earn, if we don't win, you still get something. So I think that part has gotten solved because, back in the day when you were on miscellaneous teams, you knew that if you didn't win, you didn't get anything. And you knew that you had to work on it for the following year. You had to work on it to get something. Like if you really wanted the trophy, you had to work. You had to earn it.
Fact.
So
I gotta say, I know Clint had brought up the thing with the sports and everything. I talk about my son a lot. He's good at football. He's 11. He's been playing football for probably about 4 years now, and he's a running back. But I remember last year they wound up losing to Pemberton, and Pemberton's a real good football team. And he actually cried. He cried because they lost. And, he tried to he had a couple of good plays where he had a couple of nice runs, but then he had a couple of plays where he wasn't having nice runs, and he tried to say it was because the other team or his team wasn't blocking. I was like, nah, dude, it's not that the other team isn't blocking. Like, that's on you. You're not running good. The other team is quicker. They're getting to you faster. You're not running good. I'm not going to sit here and be like, don't worry about it. Your team wasn't doing what they needed to be doing to open up the holes or help you run or anything like that. Nah, you lost because you weren't running good. And he cried. I'm not getting a trophy. We're not going to the championship. Like, he understood that. That doesn't mean that we're going to sit there and push him through and be like, it's not your fault. Don't worry about it. Like, no. Like I said, you got to let these kids grow up and understand and learn, like, hey, you're not going to win everything. You're not going to lose everything. Yeah. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But in this instance, you lost. Like, you guys didn't play good like you should have played. And right now, you're not getting that trophy. You're not going to the next game. Your season's over now. And he understood it. I try to teach him or try to let him show him, like, hey, that's not how it happens. That doesn't happen all the time because, you got other kids out there who parents are out there, why isn't my son playing? Your son's not good enough. Well, why is my daughter sitting on the bench and this person right here playing a position missed 3 balls? You gotta be honest and real. Yeah, your kid sucks. Like we out here to win. Like I'm not out here. You should be at that age. Like as you get older, it's all about learning the fundamentals and everything. But as you get older, you get a little bit more competitive. It's not just all everybody's out here having a good time. Like no, you want to be out there to win. No coach wants to go out every year to lose. Nobody is picking up that job like, we're not expecting to win this season. We gonna lose, but we gonna have fun while we doing it.
Exactly.
No, but what's funny?
It don't happen like that.
No, but what's funny too? My daughter, she's in middle school. It's her last year in middle school. The year prior, she tried out for softball. Like she had to actually try out for softball. She had never played softball before, but she just wanted to do softball. And she was out in the field catching. I don't know how she got that job, but I guess a lot of them were out there. But they wanted to be on the team, so they put them out in the field. This year, they had to try out again, and she's done really good. And now she's on second base. And she was like, "Mom, I'm on second base." And I said, "Well, that's great." And she had to try out for that. It was many people trying out for different positions, and she was lucky enough that she actually was able to get that spot. But that goes to show you that if you try and put effort to what you're doing, you can do what you want to do, but you have to, the tryout phase sometimes is a little bit different. And like you said, this how sports is done in some areas are a little bit different and where they're just happy for you to participate.
Like I got a prime example. Last year, my little brother, other little brother Daniel, his thing is basketball. He got hooked on basketball because of me. Mm-hmm. So, as we all know, these last couple of years, I've been sick. He'll be 14 this year. So I really can't get out there and work with him like how I want to work with him, because that's what I do. I there's dudes that played on the basketball team that I used to train. You feel me? That I know how to play basketball, but I can't really get out there and run with him. Do all this. So when he was practicing, he really couldn't get, as good as he can be. So when he tried out last year for his team, he got cut, and it hurt him. It hurt him bad. He was in tears, because he felt like he put the work in. But what I explained to him was, you worked, but you could have worked harder. Don't wait on me. You feel me? At the end of the day, you gotta want it. You gotta, you gotta really, if you really want it, you're going to work it. You're going to work hard to get it. It's nothing I can do or anybody else can do to make you better but you. So when last summer, you know, that boy was out there in the morning all day working on his game. You know what I mean? Come this year, he made the team.
Aww.
You know what I mean? And you know what it was? He ended up starting and everything. You know what I mean? But you know what it was? It was that pain. You know what I mean? You can't protect these kids from pain. You know, pain is pleasure. You know, that's how I look at it. When you working out, trying to get in shape, you put your body through some pain, through some stress to make you stronger. You feel me? And what I noticed with a lot of people, they try to shelter their kids from everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that sheltering really isn't helping them at all. You know what I mean? Like from the littlest thing to when if you got a little toddler or something, they fall. Oh, everybody want to be all over dramatic. Me, I'm not like that. You know what I mean? I didn't learn that way. I'm looking. You ain't hit your head. I don't see no bleeding. Get up. You know what I mean?
I'm the same way. I get told that I'm too hard on the kids sometimes because, you know, like Clint said, you know, you fell and you hit your head or something like that. Nothing's broke. Nothing's bleeding.
Yeah.
You know, you're fine. There's no need to cry. Get up and keep on going. I've been told plenty of times, like, oh, you're too hard on the kids. Like, my daughter cried one day, and I'm just like, yo, you're fine. Like, anybody hurt you? Are you hurt? Are you bleeding? Is anything broke? No, there's no need to cry. What are you crying for? And they were like, you can't do that. That's your daughter. Like, yo, but I can't sit here and baby her.
If I sit here and baby her.
Yeah, exactly. Like I tell people that all the time. You know what I mean? Same thing. You know what? I tell my daughter that, like, you know, I got 7 little brothers and sisters. I babysit, help raise them all. So I done seen it all. So you crying over nothing, it's not going to bother me. You feel me? It's really like my patience is so thick when it comes to that. Like, yeah, I'm going to just sit there and let you, especially when I know I done fed you, you're clean, you got your toys. There's nothing you need to be worried about right now.
Yeah.
You just crying because you want your way. Well, guess what? I'm not going to turn the TV up. I can hear it through the TV. You know what I mean? Like,
block them out.
Yeah, I'm just, you know what I mean? You good. You good. You feel me? Oh, I want to call my mommy. Sometimes I'd be like, all right, call your mom. But I probably try to preface her mom before I give her the phone. Like, listen, you know what I mean? Reinstill what I'm telling her. You feel me? Or other time, I'd be like, no, you're not calling your mom. You know what I mean? No, you're going to sit right there. You know what I mean? Her mom, now she do the same thing with her mom. That goes to what we was talking about last week a little bit when the kids try to play the parents against each other. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But we had that stern, and when you both know and we both understand we're not trying to raise no spoiled, you know what I mean, child that thinks she's going to get her way all the time, you feel me? Like, that's when you supposed to stick together on that front, you know what I mean? Because I ain't beat for you. Like, I tell her all the time. Like I said, she ain't even 4 yet, and I still tell her all the time. Like, listen, you're not going to get your way. You know what I mean? You're not going to get everything you want. That's just not how life works. You know what I mean? My dad told me a long time ago, life ain't fair. You know, I was like, so he did something. You know what I mean? He made me come all the way upstairs to the third floor. I was outside playing. Just to do something else. It was something real trivial, though. Now, he did that before, too, but it was something real trivial. And then he made me stay there. And, like, you going to watch this with me. I'm like, hold on, I was out there playing. You know what I mean? That ain't fair. You know what I mean? He snapped. He's like, who told you life is fair? You know what I mean? Sometimes things in life going to happen to you that you have no control over.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to accept it. And you have to deal with it. And you have to make the best of it. You know, that was his way of teaching me a lesson because he felt like I was spoiled. I was getting my way too much. I was feeling myself. You know what I mean? So sometimes when they get to that point, you got to take something away.
Yeah, that's what I did. Like with my daughter, she used to cry just to cry, and I used to look at her like, well, what you crying for? And one thing I always did with both my kids, I talk to them like they regular people. I don't even give them baby talk. I just be like, well, what you crying for? And she'd sit and look at me. She can't find a reason, and I'm like, yeah, you fine. And even my son, he jumps on the bed and like take a dive. When I tell you that boy take a dive. He take a whole dive, get off the bed, screaming and hollering, looking at me like, well, what happened? I'm like, you did that to yourself. And I look at him, and he look at me, tears down his eyes, looking at me like, well, what happened? I'm like, you did it. Stop jumping, and you won't fall like that. And he just look at me, and eventually he'll, because I won't react the way he, most people, like you said, they run to their kid. Oh, my God, the poor child. They ain't died, ain't no blood, ain't gashed your head. The way they felt, I heard it. It was okay. It sounded safe. He's good. And, he just look at me, and then he just go ahead and play because I know that he's okay. Now, it's different. It's like when he falls down, I know my steps are like a death trap. If you fall out the wrong way, you might hit that column coming down, and it might not go right for you. And that one day he fell, I kind of I almost jumped up, but I watched and waited to see how he reacted. And he cried, he got a little upset, he touched his head, he came over to me and lay next to me, and I said, "You okay?" And he was fine. But you even with that, you can't baby them. You can't you have to like you said, you have to learn the hard way that life is not fair. You can't get everything you want. You can't do everything you want to do, and that's just it. But I don't want to raise my kids are spoiled to a certain extent, but they know that my daughter, I tell her every day I'm broke. I don't care if I got money. I'm broke. Don't ask me for nothing. Don't look at nothing. I give her a speech. You know how your mom gave you a speech before you walk in the store? Because I don't want her to get to that point where, oh, my mom buy me everything I want. No, I don't buy you everything you want. I buy you everything you need. I get you what you want when I feel like getting you what you want. But I'm not going to just hand you things. You have to earn it. And that's the problem. A lot of these kids aren't earning anything. They're just giving everything.
That goes back to my thing I was saying, about the school and education and everything. I say my wife works in the Trenton school. My wife's father works for the school also. And you get a lot of these parents that go to the school arguing with the teachers, like, why didn't you give my son or daughter this grade in class? They come here all the time and they in your class, but you gave them a D or an F or whatever. It's like, your kid, this is what your kid earned. It's not that I gave it to them. This is what they earned. If you hear some of the projects, he teaches computer class. If you hear some of these projects that he gives these kids, they're the easiest things ever. These kids don't want to do these projects. They don't want to do their schoolwork. And he's saying, these parents are coming in and arguing with the teachers, my kid's not passing your class. Why? You don't come in here and argue with me and yell at me. You need to be talking to your child. Yeah. Your child is the reason why they're not passing this class. And these kids are out here, got their support of their mom and dad, thinking that they're going to help them get through life all the time. And it's starting off bad. I mean, you can't even get through school. What makes you think you're going to be able to get through life? And like I say, you handing these kids too much and letting them get away with too much. And that gets down to the whole point of raising these kids.
Yeah.
One of the issues I have with the Trenton Public Schools, when I graduated junior high, I never wanted to go to Trenton High because I already knew what it was, because basically all my friends were older than me, a couple years older than me, basically. And, most of them dropped out. So I noticed that school breeded that environment. And then when they came up with the daylight twilight, I understood it for older people that dropped out and then they wanted to come back and get a diploma instead of going to GED. But what I didn't like was they allowed kids that were in school, in regular school, to leave regular school to go to this daylight twilight program and get the easy way out. You know what I mean? And the rest of us had to stay and go through basically a whole bid. You know what I mean? In the high school where you can go an easy way out, and then 8 months you done graduated. I'm like, you was a junior. You know what I mean? It was shorter than that.
Well, no, that's not necessarily true because not in my case. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm about to say I know quite a few people that you know what I mean, and then it was people who didn't even come to school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ain't see you in 2 years. Where you was at?
Yeah.
Now you taking this daylight twilight program, you get to graduate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't never support
behavior
that.
Problems they put I don't think I had behavior problems. I had authority problems, and I know for me once I hit the level but that's
different.
What
we're talking about.
Yeah, but my mother never.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
I give my mom credit because I was not the best kid. I really wasn't, and I ain't gonna sit here and tell no lie. My mom used to come to school. My mom knew. But I knew not to lie to my mom. The way my mom was, you can't just sit there and tell her no lie. She already know you. She know what you're gonna do, know what you won't do, know what you will do. And the way she used to come at me, like she'll be mad at me more than anyone else. And for me, it was like her whole thing with me was when that came to that point when they were trying to put me out of school, my mom was like, listen, I don't want her out of school. Is there any other way? And that's when Twilight first kicked in. And that's when they were sending the kids that were on their way out of school, like being expelled type of school, and their parents really wanted them to go to school. Like you had to, like the way I had to go was, okay, well, if you have any problems, you're no longer in school. And they made me sign a paper, my mother signed a paper, and that's where I had to go to school. I went to Trenton High just to take my HSBT. Thankfully, I passed it. But prior to coming to Trenton High, like I said, I have seizures. I had it all my life. I couldn't take certain classes back since talking about junior high. So I had way more credits. By the time I got to Trenton High, I already had a certain amount of credits built up for high school class because that's the way I had to go to school. And by the time I got to high school, I did graduate a year early. But even though my behavior sucked, my mom was never like, oh, well, she right, she wrong, she this and the third. It's like, no, you need to stop what you're doing before you end up where you don't want to be. It's just how my mom used to come at me. And like you said, you go through stuff and you have to, like I had to learn. My mom used to tell me all the time, and I had to learn. Like even my behavior from back in the day, my mom said it's gonna catch up with you. It's gonna catch up with you. She said I'm tired of coming to these schools. I'm tired of doing X, Y, Z. But like I said, my mom held not only did she held me accountable, she held herself accountable for my actions. Even though she told me she should have did X, Y, Z. I should have did X, Y, Z. So like I said, you have to have those parents that care about you enough to discipline you to save you from yourself. And the way these kids are, it's not like that now. They're more so, like Jabril said, arguing with the teachers about their kids' grades, arguing with the teacher for their teacher either sending their kids to detention because they don't feel like waking up on a Saturday to put them in detention. Like this miscellaneous stuff. Like even you could take that to the sports. You got people arguing with the things because their kids not doing X, Y, Z. Like it's just crazy. Everybody is saying that they don't want to make the kids feel some type of way, but at the same time they have to learn. How are they going to learn anything if they're never held accountable for their actions?
I was one of those kids. Oh, my fault, Jabril. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just real quick. I was gonna say, that leads into these kids disrespecting these teachers and these other people of authority because they basically they'll get away with it because their parents are backing them. Sometimes it might be appropriate. Actually, it's really never appropriate, especially these kids in here fighting teachers, fighting security guards, fighting everybody. And, they'd be like, oh, my mom and dad will take care of it. It's cool. You pushing your kids through and telling them, like, oh, somebody does this or says if somebody says this to you, you don't take that. But, somebody said something to you. Like, you're not supposed to tell your kid to fight somebody because they said something to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think we don't know. A lot of kids don't know how to take criticism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They take criticism as you're bashing them. And I think that's something at a point now that we have to teach. Because I was like you, Sarisa. You know what I mean? I ain't even going to lie. Like, I had a real issue. I had a real issue with authority prop. Sometimes, even to this day, it still rears its ugly head. Like, I really had an issue with authority figures. And, like, if you wasn't, I guess, some of the lessons that my dad tried to teach me also backfired because he was harsh at times. You know what I mean? Sometimes my pop showed no mercy. He was harsh. You feel me? So when somebody that was lesser than him, if you didn't have his authority, I got to the point to where I only gave that authority to him. You feel me? So no other older person, especially a man, can tell me anything. You see what I'm saying? So it was like, and he knew it, and as I got older, he seen it. You know what I mean? He seen the error he made. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until I was older that I understood the difference of what he was trying to teach me, the wisdom of what he was trying to teach. He didn't know how to do it, but, you know what I mean, I caught on because I used to want to go to the Marines. You know what I mean? I had signed up, did all the paperwork, everything. You know what I mean? And I had recruiters supposed to have came to my house. It was either college or the Marines. I said I took a year off after I graduated high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So when I still had my acceptance letter, so it was like 2 days before I was supposed to leave for college, the recruiter was supposed to come. And I was like, well, if the recruiter comes first, I'm going to the Marines. But he never came. But I could have still went with it, but I let my dad talk me out of it because he was like, listen, man, you got a problem with authority. It was serious. So he was like, when you get over there, he's like, they're going to be all in your face. They're going to be screaming at you, telling you this, that, and the third. He was like, can you handle that? And I'm sitting there at 18, and I'm sitting there thinking like, nah. Like, they're going to have to whoop my ass over there. You feel like I could already see it. Like, I couldn't take that. You know what I mean? So that was a flaw in me. Like, I had to really correct that to be able to take, you know what I mean, criticism or respect authority figures in that way. You know what I mean? Because I was dead serious. If you wasn't my dad or my mom, like, you can't tell me nothing. Like, you really can't tell me.
My problem was I just had the circumstances of my upbringing was going, like, you know, your at home comes into your school. So in school, I was always on defense mode. And when you said something, when a teacher said something to me, it's like I blatantly defied them. And then, I was wrong for basically being the defiant of whatever authority they had. And then their reaction to their defiance was to physically put their hands on me. And once you physically put your hands on me, that gave me a check. Like, okay, so now I can physically touch you too because you physically touched me. And I'm not talking like a touch of my hand or holding my hand. I'm talking about one teacher slammed me, the other teacher swung on me. Like, it's like not to justify my actions, but I provoked their action of what I did because I knew, like, that's one thing I know how to provoke people to get a rise out you. And to make you react in a way that your only option is physical. And that's why I'm doing it with a purpose. So like I said, I look at myself now, and I'm grateful because the road I was on, had I still been on it, who knows where I would be right now. Because I was on a but that was me trying to be destructive of myself. Because how I felt at that time, I felt like this is the way I need to go because this is the only way I'm going to get a rise out of people, and I know I can do this, so therefore I'm going to keep doing it. So like I said, my mom held me accountable for my actions, and she used to always say, you're going to end up in one or two places at the rate you're going. And like I said, it takes for you, because everybody could tell you to change, but it takes for you to change. My mom tried to instill at me, but at that point, it was nothing really she could do. She could tell me all day she was blue in the face. But like she tried, and at one point she was like, you know what, I gave up. You got to learn the hard way.
And that's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Learning the hard way. When you really was time to listen to somebody.
Yeah.
But you didn't, because your own, and I'm talking in general, hypothetical, in your own mind, you like, you know what I mean? I know what I'm doing. You feel me? You don't see no error in your ways. You don't, you know what I mean? Can't nobody tell you nothing until you fall flat on your face. You know what I mean? Or go through some real rough times, you'll never get it. You know what I mean? But you can avoid all that by just listening, taking that constructive criticism. You know what I mean? Respecting your elders when they try to tell you something. It's like we said, there's nothing new under the sun. You know what I mean? It's just only thing changes. You know what I mean? Technology. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that really changed. You feel me? But everything's still the same. You feel me? You'll know the old saying, as much as things change, they stay the same.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I try to tell the young people, man, respect your elders when they trying to kick that knowledge to you, even when you don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Just listen, because even if it doesn't apply at the moment, at some point you're going to be going through a situation and it's going to hit you. Like deja vu, like, yeah, I was told about this. I was told this was going to rise. All right, well, let me, you know what I mean, handle this accordingly like I was told how to, instead of trying to do it on your own accord when you have no knowledge of anything, of how to handle it. You feel me? So
I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the other questions we had was, you know, how do you break that habit of you know, how you raise the kids nowadays. And those are some good points you brought up right there. Hopefully we got some listeners out there who will call in and have some opinions about this. But, like you say, you know, you got to teach them. You can't baby them. You can't be soft. Everybody has their own different ways of doing it, of raising their kids. And like I say, it's not just this generation; it's the generation before. And hopefully, those kids will learn something and they'll teach their kids something different. That it's not you got to take responsibility. That's what I say it comes down to. You got to take responsibility and hope that you just don't get pushed through in life with being a loser and just accepting, this happened. So even though you try, you still get something. You get that little gold star, that participation award, whatever it is. Nothing should be handed to you. You should have to work hard for it and basically own up to whatever you're doing.
Yes, and all your ups and downs, basically, like how we grow. Everything we learn from. That's one thing these kids have to learn. I'm instilling in my daughter, how she no matter how I find different ways to teach her stuff. Like when she gets upset, recently I got her hair done. One of my friends did it for a low amount. Got her hair done. And I'm telling her, before she get this hairstyle, sorry, that's not going to work out. It's something minute, but I'm just telling her that's not going to work out, blah, blah, blah. I don't think you should get that, blah, blah, blah. She fussing with me, fighting with me. No, I want this, doing this. I let her get it, and you know what? She had to learn a lesson. Mommy said was right. And then, and I'm telling her, this is why I said anything I tell you, and I had to talk later on, and I'm like, anything I tell you, I'm telling you for a purpose. I'm not telling you just because I felt like saying it or I feel like going against what you're trying to do. I said, because if you're doing something positive, I'm going to support you 100%. But when I feel like you're doing something that's a waste of time and not going to benefit you or me, not necessarily benefit me, but in that situation, it was benefiting me and her. But it's just I wanted her to understand that the reason why I say this and the reason why I say these things to you and the reason why I address these things, it's not like I'm going against you. I just want you to understand. And I see where we're at now. This all could have been avoided. And that's I want her to learn from her mistakes. I don't want her to just be handed something or act and I made her wait till she get her hair done. Her hair's still not done because I felt like you wasted my money, so you have to learn a lesson. I don't have money for you to waste. I work hard for every penny I do. If I was some old Willie Diddy mama didn't care, I'd be throwing money around like it's nothing, and you won't learn anything from it. Okay, so you did this, now you have to learn that next time you get your hair done, and I pay for you to get your hair done, no matter how much it costs, you have to earn that. No matter how, and I feel this type of way, but, that's personal. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let me ask you all a question. Do you think in today's society, people have become too comfortable with playing the victim? And in my opinion, I think a lot of people like playing the victim, and it's the reason why everybody feels entitled. A lot of people want sympathy for things that didn't even happen to them or that's not happening to them. You know what I mean? They just, because they don't, it goes back to taking responsibility. They don't want to take responsibility for their own actions, for our own shortcomings. So what do y'all feel about that?
I think yes. We brought this up before when we had we did the show about the police brutality and all that stuff. And it's not always all cops aren't bad. Exactly. Like I say, you got to take responsibility. Yes, if you were speeding, you were speeding. The cop gonna pull you over. They ain't pull you over for no reason. And you can't sit here and be mad because he pulled you over, and then you want to start pulling out the cell phones and saying police brutality, this and all of that. No, he pulled you over for a reason because you were doing something you weren't supposed to be doing. You can't play the victim just because I'm a black man driving a nice car. Yeah, you a black man driving a nice car, but what were you doing in a car that made the cop pull you over? Not all cops are going to pull you over just because you're a black man driving a nice car. You were doing something. Oh, your taillight was out. You didn't use the turn signal. These are rules of the road. The rules of the road. You have to obey these laws and rules. If you don't, you might get away with it one time, but you're not going to get away with it all the time. So you can't just blame that and say, I'm a victim because I'm driving a nice car and I'm black. No, you're a victim because you broke the law. You did something you weren't supposed to be doing. So no, you can't claim victim all the time. I'm not saying it doesn't happen all the time, but you can't pull the victim card every time something bad happens.
Yeah, even the people that grow up with a hard life. I grew up, my dad wasn't there. I don't know no better. Blah blah blah. At some point, you have to take accountability. You have to, what's right, you know what's wrong. You have to take accountability for your actions. You can't keep saying, well, my mom wasn't there for me or my father wasn't there for me and nobody taught me. You have to teach yourself. At some point, you have to know, you know what's right, you know what's wrong. You can't say that because I was raised this way and I didn't have a parent that I chose to be an alcoholic or I chose to be a drug dealer because nobody taught me. At what point do you realize that what you're doing is not helping you? No one forced you to do anything. You chose that.
And I think that's one thing that need to be taught too. Stop comparing your life to other people's lives. You know what I mean? Because you don't know that other person's struggle. You feel me? So like I never liked that excuse. Well, I understand the pain of not having a father around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of my boys, like me and my dad, like I said, we was close, but there was gaps where we didn't see each other at times when we was beefing. So like, but I know other single parents, other friends that grew up in single parent home had it way easier than me. You feel me? You know what I mean? So like, you don't compare your life to the next because you don't know that other person's struggle, and at the end of the day, you don't know how hard they work. You feel me? You see somebody with some nice things, or they like their living conditions is better than yours, but you may not understand what they sacrifice to get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to sacrifice, and I think a lot of these kids and even grown adults don't know what sacrifice is.
Yeah.
You feel me? They just want to party all day. They think everything is supposed to be fun, you know what I mean, and easy going. And that's never been the case in life.
Yeah.
Everything in life takes hard work, dedication, you know what I mean? So, like, I don't understand. I understand it, but it frustrates me to see, you know what I mean, people expect things to come to them so easily without putting no effort in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, Clint, we got a caller. Hold on, guys. We got a caller.
Wonderful.
Caller, you're on live with GFT Radio. Who are you and where are you from? Hello?
Yo, it's Bro, man. Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Jabril.
What's up?
What's up, bro, man?
Jabril,
yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, that's me. Just calling from B-More, man. I like to listen to y'all show. Y'all got good topics and good discussions. I'm a big fan, and shout out to Clint, shout out to the whole fam on the radio. But y'all got a good topic going on, and I like to touch on a couple of subjects and topics. And basically, you get what you put in. You get the hard grind. You get the struggle of waking up every morning, going to work, but nothing comes to you if you don't work for it. So people that just stay at home and, complain about they ain't got this, they ain't got that, they're not going to appreciate the values that was set in line for them if they never was taught. If you never was taught hard work, if you were never taught discipline and dedication, then you're just going to be somebody that's looking at other people get up to go to work and wish that you had what they had, but you never know what they got to go through to get what they what they have. Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, we shouldn't put each other down. We shouldn't disrespect each other. We should never, pass judgment on nobody, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you got, it's what you earned. If you earn it, it's yours. Feel me?
Hard work, yep.
Hard work pays off.
Yeah. Amen.
And when God hears everybody's prayers for whatever you're praying for, but He doesn't give you what you want. He gives you what you need. Feel me?
Right.
So whatever you want, it ain't gonna come to you. What you need is what you got to work for. All right. So I just want to, give everybody a shout out. I'm done. So, God bless all of y'all, man. Clint, what up, man?
What's up, bro? Appreciate you calling in, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely we appreciate that. Thank you for calling in.
All right, bro. See y'all next week.
All right. Bye.
That's my boy, Brill. My college, went to college together. That was my roommate. It's like my brother. Appreciate you calling.
That's what's up.
His name Brill or Jabril?
His name Jabril.
Oh, wow. So we got two Jabrils on him?
Yeah.
Well, hi, Jabril and other Jabril, you know. But I have a question for you guys because I just want to know, like, since we all have kids, we're all online, we all have kids. What is one thing that you recently had to, like, teach your child, like, or they had to learn, or you felt like they need to learn the hard way? Like, what was something that happened in one of your kids, whether it was one or both, that they had to learn the hard way, or something that you had to teach them, that they thought that they were, like, entitled to something, you had to show them the way, kind of?
You want to go first, Jay, bro?
Yeah, I mean, it was simple as my son, like I keep saying, he's 11. I got to remind everybody he's 11. I was at work last weekend, about 2 weeks ago, and I get a text message. It was like, oh, you know, your data plan on your phone is close to 100%. I'm like, oh, all right, you know, no problem. I lied to you not like 15 minutes later. It was like, yo, 100% of your data plan's been used. We added an extra gig. I'm like, all right, you know, no problem. You know, we all go over. Not even an hour later, I get another text message. 100% of that data plan of the extra gig that they put on was already used. I'm like, nah, not doing it anymore. Had to cut his internet off. At the time, I'm like, yo, you know, I can't just, like, my wife has been telling me plenty of times, like, hey, you know, he comes over the house, he's on the phone constantly. Wakes up in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, he's on the phone till like 9, 10 o'clock at night. And so he's sitting there, he watches his YouTube videos and, you know, and does his own thing. And I try to let him go because, you know, he's young, you know, we did it, we have phones and everything. But at some point in time, you got to tell him, like, yo, you know, you're not paying bills for this. You don't do anything but just use up the data plan all day. Like, not you have to earn this back until you can learn how to equally distribute your data usage and learn how to use some Wi-Fi and not be on the phone the whole time. You can't use your phone. I mean, he still has his phone, but his internet data, all that cut off. He can't use it unless he's on Wi-Fi. So I asked him this morning. I was like, "Oh, you mad because you can't use your phone?" He was like, "Yeah, I go to people's house. I got to get their Wi-Fi password." I'm like, "Oh, you be all right. You know, you don't need it." He was like, "Yeah, I do." Dude, you're 11. You in school from 8 o'clock till 3 o'clock. Then you're doing homework after that. Like, yo, there's no reason why you should be. I understand weekends, yeah, you know, Friday, Saturday, you want to be on your phone text. Yo, I check his phone, look at his text messages. He's been sent like 200 text messages in like a couple hours. I'm like, yo, dude, who are you talking to all day? What videos? Yo, he's constantly on his phone. Mom used to tell me all the time, like, yo, that's all he does is sit on his phone. I let it go for a while until I started hitting that bill, and I'm just like, yo, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah. I cut my daughter that off, too.
Well, my daughter, it was just as recently as, Tuesday, went and got something to eat. You know, after I picked her up from daycare, went and got something to eat. So, we ride past the 7-Eleven. This is after we got the food. And she like, Daddy, I want a slushie. 7-Eleven, go to 7-Eleven, get a slushie. I said, nah. I said, I done spent all this money on this food. We're going to go eat this food. I got drinks at the house. You know what I mean? I even got some little juice for you if you want some juice. You know what I mean? We're not getting no slushie, not today. Because the last couple of times, that's all you wanted was a slushie. I said, today is not the day. So she goes and catches she catches a hissy fit. You feel me? She had a little toy that I got for her. I don't want it. You know what I mean? I'm like, you don't want it. Now you mad because you're not getting what you want. Now you like, I don't want nothing. All right. All right, cool. I understand. That's your prerogative. I ain't mad at you. Give me that toy. You know what I mean? This is mine. I'm going to give it to somebody who appreciate it. You like how you said, I don't talk to my daughter in that baby talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why, like, I think she got common sense, a lot of common sense, because I talk to her regularly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So she understand, and she understand my tone. You know, so I took the toy and I said, okay, well, I'm going to give it to somebody that's going to appreciate it, because obviously you don't appreciate it. You know what I mean? You don't want it. You think you're supposed to get everything you want, and I was just, that's not life. You know what I mean? So she took a minute for her to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, no, I want it. I said, no. You just threw it and said you didn't want it. Now I mean, you can't throw no hissy fit and think there's no consequences. Now I mean, for every action there's a reaction. So go ahead, have your hissy fit, but understand I'm gonna react to it the way I want to react to it. You know what I mean? I don't. You know what I mean? I don't have to. I don't have to kowtow to your beck and command. Because just because I think I call her my bet, like I always give her positive affirmations all the time. So I feel like at times she think, well, you know what I mean, Daddy give me anything because Daddy always tell me he love me, I'm beautiful, smart, you know what I mean, I am, and all this type stuff. So she feel as though she can do and say whatever she want, like she can get over on me, like I gotta like. But that's not the case. That's not the case.
You sure she don't be putting them puppy eyes on you like, Daddy?
Nah, that don't work. I tell my daughter all the time that don't work.
That don't work. I got 4 sisters. You know what I mean?
Oh, my son did it to me.
Like nah, like nah. Like I already know y'all game. You know what I mean? Like no.
No, my son did it to me, and I was like, I felt so bad because I forget what he was doing, and I was telling him no. And he was just sitting there looking at me. And he looks at me, he smiles, shows them dimples, and like reach for what he's trying to do. And I'm telling him, I'm like, no. Mommy said no. And he looks at me, and all of a sudden them tears come. He got the lip poked out. He's looking at me with the saddest face ever. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I gave him a juice. I didn't. Cause, matter of fact, it was a juice. He was trying to get juice. He like obsessed with juice. And I got to hide it so he can't see it. He's going to figure there's no juice, and he just crying like, where's the juice? I know you put it somewhere. I don't know where you put it at, but I know you moved it. And he just crying and crying and crying. And I just, like, hugged him because he looked so like a sad puppy, and I just picked him up and I gave him a juice. But I don't do that often. That was just that one time he did the puppy dog eyes, and I've never seen him do that. And I just like, oh, my God, love you, son. Love you. But for the most part, like, even today, he got mad. He was watching his little tablet, and apparently the movie didn't do what he wanted it to do. All of a sudden, the tablet goes flying. He starts trying to throw everything. And I get it, his condition, he's a little bit different. But I'm still, like, this is still like me. Like, no, you're not about to do that. So I kind of grab it I pick it up, and then he wants to get it from me because he wants to throw it again. And I kind of, like, yank it out. Like, I kind of yank it away from him, and he's crying and crying and crying. And eventually he realizes it's over. Like, Mommy don't care that I'm crying. I'm not going to get it, so I might as well find something else to play with. But, I mean, you have to do that. You have to let the kids know that they can't push you around.
And we can't send empty threats neither.
Yeah.
I think too many times, you know what I mean, parents tell their kids, or like we threaten our kids, we're going to do this, do that, and the third, but we don't follow through on that threat. You know what I mean? It should become a promise.
Oh, yeah, I don't even threaten Zari anymore. I don't even tell her what I'm going to do. Like, she does something, I don't say anything. All of a sudden, matter of fact, one day she was in here flipping her lip. Like, because she's 13, she got a little, I get that she's a teenager, you know, she goes through a little mood swings, whatever. One day she tiptoed across that line. I had to bring her right back to that line. She's sitting there on the phone 1 minute, next minute that phone, the caller you're trying to reach. She was like, Mom. I was like, she was talking to, I don't know who she talked to on that phone, but they were calling her. She was trying to call them, and it wasn't happening. And she came in the room like, Mom, what you do? I said, oh, no, you got a smart mouth. I don't do that. You got a smart mouth for me. You don't need to talk to none of your friends with that smart mouth. And she was like, no, but what? Who paid the bill? Did you give me any money on this bill? No, I don't think so. Like I said, her data is currently off. She lucky she gotta go get the Wi-Fi like your son did, bro. I don't play that. Like you don't pay no bill. You don't do nothing in this house but come in your room and watch this and help your brother every so often. You don't do nothing. Like what are you talking about? And I think that's another question I had to ask you guys because I don't like. Someone said I was crazy because I don't really give my daughter chores. I just like she helps out with stuff. I don't make her do anything. The only thing I make her do is clean her room. And if she doesn't clean her room, I tell her I'll clean her room. And my cleaning the room is getting the trash back and throwing everything away. But do you guys feel like your kids, like you should make your kids do chores? Or, like, you know, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think they should. I mean, the earlier they start, the better. Whether it's, you know, wake up in the morning, you know, make the bed, take the trash out, wash some dishes. You know, I'm not going to actually wash the clothes, but, you know, I'll fold them, you put them away, things like that. Like, I mean, you're not giving them hard, heavy work like, oh, you know, you got to clean the bathroom and clean the shower and like all of that stuff. But nah, like simple things that they should do. You got trash in your room, empty the trash can out. Wash the dishes.
I don't make her do chores. I just, like, she's been helping me since forever. So I don't really be like, oh, sorry, do this. She's normally, my wash dishes tonight, okay? Or she'll take out the trash. I'll put the trash to the door. She'll take it out on her way out. Stuff like that. Like, I don't really make her do anything. Like, when I say we're going to clean the house, that means we are going to clean the house. And she knows her room. She's responsible for her room. But, like, Clint, would you do, like, make your kids, your daughter do chores?
Well, one thing about my daughter, she like to do things herself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it be times when she kids, toddlers, they make a mess.
Yeah.
So when it's time to clean up, she get right to it. And she like to do it herself a lot. I would go out trying to grab stuff. She's like, no, Daddy, I got it. You know what I mean? But it comes time when it's too much to where she'd be like, Daddy, help me. Daddy, help me. And I'd be like, nope, remember you said you got it? You know what I mean? That's your mess. You was right. You know what I mean? Like, you corrected me. You know what I mean? I throw it right back at her. Like, you was right. You corrected me. That's your mess. You clean up your mess. But like you said, when it comes to, like, washing dishes or if she spills something, and, like, on the carpet or something, I know I got to clean it up. If she don't know how to properly clean it up, she'll just probably make it worse than I do. But her room,
at least try.
Well, no, she helps. I make her help. You know what I mean? But her room, I don't touch her room. I don't touch her room at all. You got that? Clean that on up. You know what I mean? Clean that on up, and she hooks it right on up.
Yeah. My daughter, all I have to do is, like, she know that's not I don't empty threat with the room. Like, I may empty threat with miscellaneous stuff, like stupid stuff. But, like, when it comes to her room, she be like, Zari, y'all clean your room. I want to clean by such. If you don't clean it, I'm going to clean it. That girl will stop whatever she's doing at that particular second and go clean her room. Because she know, when I get in clean mode, I'm in clean mode. And if you're not cleaning when I'm cleaning, and I start cleaning your space, I'm coming in with a bag, and I'm leaving with a bag, and it's going to be full, and I don't care what. Like, if it don't look like it's right to me, it's gone. And she has experienced it. She's like, she'll come home from school, like, Dara, I took the cleaning room last night, and I took the day off, that next day off, and she don't clean it, and she come home like, Mom, my room clean. Yeah, but where's such and such? Oh, I don't know. Like, don't even, like, this shouldn't even ask me because she know that I got a bag, and if it ain't in her room, it's in the garbage, and it's outside, and I do it on trash day. So the day I take off the trash day, by 10 o'clock when that trash can, people roll around, my trash is outside. So she can't go back and get it. Like, that's just how I'm coming. And she
would like to let the people know that, y'all can call in. Our phone number is 657-383-1155.
Oh, we're about to be at the show.
Yeah.
Y'all ready?
Yeah, ready. Let's dive right into it.
But I want to do it right. We might as well jump in. We got like a minute. We might as well. So officially we're now in the after show. Like Clint said, the number is 657-383-1155. For those who are listening currently, you are currently on Blog Talk Radio, /GFTRadioshow.com. And if you can definitely call in and listen to the show and join in your opinion. Do you guys have any topics that you want to touch base on, like any trending topics you guys got in your head currently that's been going on in the news that you want to talk about?
There's a lot been going on in the news just today alone.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I don't know if y'all wanted to hop right into it, but, we lost Prince today.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
rest in peace, Prince. Oh, my God. You know what popped in my head when I first saw them the first, I thought they would launch, Facebook go crazy, and I had to see it from reputable news people. But it popped in my head. I'm not. Maybe it's not a laughing moment, but Dave Chappelle. Remember the one when he played he played basketball with them, and he made pancakes after. He made pancakes afterwards. Like, now, what do you want to know? Is that really true, or was that a skit? Like, is that true that, for instance, I believe he probably really could play ball. As pretty as he is, he
was.
Could have played. He
was on the basketball team. He was on the basketball team. They got the picture. Yeah, he was a real basketball player. Prince was a real basketball player.
I know that's right.
Yeah, they was like that. See, actually, that actually happened.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering, because, they talk about Rick James. They did the Rick James, too. So I was just, Rick James, bitch, and, game blouses. But if somebody put that on Facebook, they mean game blouses. And I just had to, I had to think about that. But I do have another question about Prince. I know we kind of grew up while he was, we grew up in the 80s, so he was out back then. Do you guys have a favorite Prince song?
Diamonds and Pearls.
Me too.
What you was about to say, J-Ro?
Nah, I mean, Diamonds and Pearls was a good one. The whole the Purple Rain, when Doves Cry. I listen to a lot of Prince. I saw somebody put it up earlier. Everybody wants to play all the Prince music now that he passed, but nobody really played Prince music when he was alive, and that happened with not just Prince, but a whole bunch of artists. They kind of, I don't want to say fell off, but you don't hear from them. It's not what's hot in the streets right now, so they don't play their music. But as soon as they pass away, they want to flood the airwaves with their songs. But I mean, Prince was that dude, man.
Yes, they was at work.
Darling Nikki
had the radio on.
Darling Nikki, let's not forget that song. That's I think that's one of my favorite Prince songs. Nobody know what I'm talking about. That's if you go watch Purple Rain, the song when he was singing to the girl in the at the club and she ran out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Darling Nikki. That's one of my favorite songs right there too.
No, I like that one in that song Kiss. I just liked that, and I was so mad because when I was at work, my coworker had the radio on. They started playing Diamonds and Pearls. They started playing Purple Rain and Doves Cry. And I'm like, why are they not playing Diamonds and Pearls and Kiss? They should be playing all his songs. Because it takes you back, and like I said, it takes me back to my childhood. Like my mom instilled music in us since we were kids. Like I could think of so many artists that I still love today. That's my mom's time, and my coworkers be laughing because I be just jamming to them. But you sit there and you listen to these songs, especially Prince songs. That he was a big presence back then, and up in even when he changed his name, all that, and it's just wow, somebody like him just it seems like all the great ones are going. You got Whitney left, Michael, even though he was a little bit kooky, he left. Natalie Cole, just so many good artists, and now we're never going to be able to hear their music. And he was on tour. He got sick on tour, and he went to a hospital. They said he had flu-like symptoms. He went to the hospital. He was fine. He left and went right back on tour. And then it happened. So it's
It was just last week or something. They said he was, he was on a plane and had to make the emergency landing.
Yeah, because they said he had flu-like symptoms, and he was he was dehydrated and everything like that. And then to know, and it's crazy. People at my job were asking why did he go back on tour if he was sick? And I'm like, you got to understand that this person is a major person in the music industry, and he probably felt I got to do it for my fans. These fans paid for this concert, and I'm going to put on a concert. And I heard his concerts were amazing. So to go to his concert was just just an entertaining night, and he gave he was dedicated to his fans. Now it makes me wonder should he have went back? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a real question. Who you got, MJ or Prince?
Ooh, wow. I gotta go with Prince. I mean, MJ was a nice artist too. MJ was he was ever since he was a kid, he was in the limelight, he was in the spotlight. He had some good music. But Prince was that overall cool dude. Anybody you just sit, chill out, mellow out to some Prince. He everything about Prince, man. I was looking. I didn't shed a tear today, but definitely I was rocking out to some Prince. It was all over the radio. It's just crazy. That was a shock and surprise. And I was listening to the radio, and they were like, "Oh, who had a bigger impact? Prince or Michael Jackson?" When Michael Jackson passed away, he shut down the internet. Everybody was talking about it.
Yeah.
The internet literally stopped working when Michael Jackson passed away. And Prince didn't have that much of a big effect, but he still was. I say he was still one of the best top performers besides MJ.
I think artistically,
Prince.
I'm going with Prince. You know what I mean? Prince was he. I think he stood out more. It was more him. You know, that's not to slight MJ at all. You know what I mean? Because we talk about two of the greatest that ever did it. You feel me? Be clear on that. It's not to slight MJ at all, but I go with Prince because I think Prince was more individual. You know, I think MJ had that machine behind him a little bit more. He played to that machine more. I think Prince was more so, you know what I mean, like I'm going to do it my way, highway, rest of y'all can basically kiss my ass. You know what I mean? Mike got to that point, but before Mike got to that point, Mike had that machine behind him. You know what I mean? I think that's what made his celebrity more than what Prince's was.
I think that, like, if I had to choose, I would choose MJ. Not to, like I said, like you said, not to slight Prince. I think Prince had way more freedom, and he chose freedom over being, like you said, contained like Michael Jackson did. I think Michael Jackson struggled with who he was because of his family and how everything was and the limelight in which he was in. I think that if Michael Jackson would have been who he was, people would have loved him anyway, but he was just not allowed to, and when he was, it was like that point he just went left with it. Artistically, I think Prince had him because I said Prince was free to be himself. He didn't care. He was over-sexual. He was who he was, and you were either going to like him or you wasn't going to like him. But that man put on a show, and he was one pretty motherfucker. I give him that. But I would definitely, I would choose MJ. But like I said, they're two different types of artists, but they were great at what they do, and that's why they were who they are, and they had the effect on the music industry as they did. Because you listen to both. Anybody now could tell you they listen to Michael Jackson or they listen to Prince, unless they just, new school kids don't really know no better.
Exactly.
But, you have to pay homage to people, those two like that, because you have to respect their craft and who they were. Despite Michael Jackson and his stuff that he had going on, he was a talented person. I just think that he got lost in himself. And that's one thing, you get lost to the point where, especially like they say with child stars, you get into that thing as a child. You got to try to separate yourself from the child MJ to the grown MJ. Now, I never thought he did. He got lost in somewhere in that. And Prince just was who he was, and you had to respect him for being who he was.
I just hope when all the details come out, it don't be nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like, because it's
I don't think he was in anything crazy like that. But
yeah.
He's going to dunk in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. What was it? I'm sorry, it popped in my head.
He was, they found him, on his elevator, on his estate. And, I just hope, wasn't no foul play.
Yeah.
First of all, you know what I mean? Because you don't know the people. We don't know. Nobody knows the people who he was around.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope it's, I don't. Well, it's kind of crazy saying it, but I just hope it was natural causes.
Yeah, or just being him sick.
Yeah, it was just inevitable. But I hope it wasn't no foul play or nothing like that.
Did the dude from CNN really say call Prince on Purple Haze?
What?
Is it Joe on the internet? All of us remember Purple Haze and what that did for the world of music.
It's just ignorant people that don't know no better. People just say ignorant shit that they don't know. It ain't nothing new. But I also want to I had a question for y'all, and it just went right out of my brain. I'm sorry.
What do you think about that? Let me one more person. You had talked about it earlier, but we got to say something about China. China passed away also. Was that last night or this morning?
I'm not sure.
Today. I think it was today, or was it last
night? Was it today?
Night? Yeah, we woke up to hearing that.
I think I seen some stuff last night. Well, it could have been late night. I'm not sure.
It might have been late last night.
It might have been late last night.
Don't really pass over that, but she was a great wrestler though. I grew up watching wrestling, and I loved China when she first came out. I was like, yo, who is this dude? Like, man, y'all laugh.
You gonna be shady and say dude though?
Everybody thought that when she first came out.
No, I thought she was just a buff female.
Nah, they call her the ninth wonder. Everybody thought she was a dude when she came out. She was that wrestler. She was the one that you did not want to mess with, whether you was a dude or a girl. And there wasn't too many girls in wrestling when she came out. Wasn't that many.
Yeah. But I felt bad because I watched her on, what was it? What's that show on VH1? One of them shows. And you get to see
Celebrity
Rehab or something like that, and you see that they struggle. Like, she struggled, like, with who she was and how men were intimidated by her, and she just wanted love.
Yeah, did she have a sex tape out or something?
She had about 5. She had about 5 of them. Don't say A. She had about 5.
Y'all terrible. Y'all terrible.
So they wasn't even sex tape. They was just pornos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, no. She had 2 sex tapes. Actually, one of her sex tapes won like best celebrity sex tape at the AVN, which is the Adult Video Awards. She won an award.
I love watching that award show. That's the best award show ever.
She won an award for that. She might have been 2 or 3. One of them was One Night in China, Back in China, and Back Door to Chinatown.
I'm mad he know all the titles though. Like, did you watch them? How were they? Were they better than R. Kelly's?
So we're gonna skip past that and let's talk about that girl. Yo, I know y'all heard about the girl in Delaware who got beat up in the bathroom and she wound up dying.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, you didn't hear about the girl? No. It was on the news. She got beat. She got in a fight with a girl in the bathroom, and then a whole bunch of other girls came in and jumped her. And apparently, she like hit her head on the sink, and she wound up dying because of the fight. A bunch of girls fighting in the bathroom.
Wow.
Did they get any of the girls that she was fought?
They got them. Yeah.
They probably got every last one of them. You know they know how that be.
Yeah, I don't know
That's
for
crazy.
sure, but I'm pretty sure somebody about to go down for some serious charges. Like,
but yeah, for what is it? They can go for involuntary manslaughter.
You going down for something?
Yeah, they could go. It can get worse than involuntary manslaughter. First of all, depending on the state laws, but
yeah,
you know, they intentionally jumped that girl.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. Was it?
They got the fight over.
Minor? Or she was a grown person?
She was in high school. It was a high school girl. She might have been like 17, I think. They said they got in a fight over a boy, argument over a boy, and then she wound up fighting. They said she was fighting one girl, and a whole bunch of other girls jumped in. I don't know how many exactly it was, but I know they said a bunch of other girls jumped in. She wound up hitting her head on the sink, and she died.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's getting.
Now I remember what I was going to say. I was watching the news this morning, and the guy he used to play baseball, and he was a sports anchor. He basically posted something about transgender. He posted a man with a dress and about a bathroom.
Yeah, that Target.
And they fired him.
Rules.
I can't think of his name. I was watching it this morning.
What happened?
Target has new rules.
The guy he used to play baseball, but now he was a sports anchor. And he basically tweeted or put on Facebook, and his Facebook is private. But
you talking about Curt Schilling? You talking about Curt Schilling?
Yeah, Schilling. Yeah, and he put it out. He put a picture of a transgender man, and it said something like about which bathroom to go to or something like that. And he basically defended himself. He was like, "Well, I'm telling the truth." He said that's like saying women use certain type of bikes and men use other different type of bikes. And he felt like he didn't do anything wrong but state his opinion, and they fired him.
Yeah, and that goes to this entitled and everybody being too sensitive and stuff. You feel me? It's like you get to the point now where you can't even really say what you feel, and you y'all trying to force us to accept things that we don't like. You know what I mean?
It's a catch-22 because if that's like, but see that I understand on what you're saying, but that's like a catch-22 because somebody that's basically saying, okay, well he said that and he's entitled to say what he wants to say. So that means anybody that's a non-black race can go on Facebook or not Facebook on national TV and say, listen, I hate the N-word, and that's his free speech. Why should he be in trouble for that? Because he spoke his mind. So I get it, but then I understand why, because you can't just. People find certain things offensive, but at the same time, if somebody walked in there and said, called us the N-word, we'd be like, oh, shit. If they might walk and say, hey, you bunch of niggers, it's like, oh, what?
I was just getting ready to say, I know it's kind of off topic, but I found it funny right there. You just said they call us the N-word.
I know. I just thought about it, and that's why I said it.
But wait, you said they call us the N-word, but then you said shit. That I told you that shows you how much power that word. Like you can't even say the N-word, but you can say shit. Like that just
that's why.
right there.
That's why. No, and I thought about that. That's why I said. That's why I ended up saying it because it was like, okay, wait a minute. Yeah, and then that's why I said it.
To me, it's all context at this point, on how you use it. You know what I mean? Like we know if somebody being derogatory or not when they use that word. You know what I mean? Where they're trying to disguise it. You know what I mean? But still being derogatory. You feel me? But if it's used to like explain a point or get a point across, you know what I mean? I done seen white comedians in a room full of black people use the word and get it off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Everybody laugh. So it's like, you know, black people, we know when it's time to, you know what I mean, get at somebody over it. My thing is this though. It's like at the end of the day, if we society is becoming fake. You know what I mean? Because everybody want to be so PC. Everything, you know what I mean? You can't say nothing. Any little thing you say, it gets taken to the, you know what I mean? Like that man lost his job.
Yeah.
You feel me? Basically, he at least could have, and then he mainly lost his job because he refused to apologize for the way he feels about, you know what I mean, like about something that's to me like should be common sense. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand how can that be taken so negative. You know what I mean?
Because he basically was like, if you got man parts, you should go to the man bathroom. You got
man
room,
like yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand.
How am I wrong? I spoke the truth.
Yeah, like I don't understand what's the big deal about that. He ain't say nothing like, oh, you know what I mean, transgender, they can't use the same bathroom as us men. You know what I mean? He said at the end of the day, he a man, he got to use the man bathroom. He ain't say, oh, they can't use we got to make a separate bathroom for transgender. Even if you feel that way, he ain't say that. He said, well, you got man parts, you got to use the man's bathroom.
Yeah.
You feel me? You know what I mean? I don't think he was being
like really like
prejudiced
negative.
Towards it. Yeah, I don't think he was being prejudiced towards it. You know what I mean? I think he was just stating a fact. You know what I mean? To me, that's a fact.
Yeah.
These companies jumping the gun, you know, trying to save themselves. That happens all the time. You don't want to lose no sponsors. You don't want to lose.
Yeah, because you know the sponsors are pulled quick, fast, in a hurry.
So somebody says something politically
incorrect. It's a problem.
Anybody, you sign to a company, you state your opinion, and it's not anything that the company that you represent, that you work for, represent, and it's not politically correct. Oh, best believe you're out of there within the next hour or two. You're done.
And that's why Donald Trump can say what he want to say, because he's not sponsored. He can say what the hell he want to say, on our election, because nobody's paying for him to say nothing. He says whatever he wants to say, and that's why a lot of people like him, unfortunately, because he's not living by the status quo. You know, when you're in an election, and such as the presidential election, you know, you get sponsors, you get people paying to help you run your campaign. He has none of that. So he could say whatever. He got carte blanche to say what he wants.
So this picture, Schilling posted a picture, showed an overweight man wearing a wig and woman's clothing, but parts of the T-shirt were cut out to show his chest. Next to the photo of the man was a text that read, "Let him in to the restroom with your daughter, or else you're a narrow-minded, judgmental, unloving, racist bigot who needs to die." Schilling then added, "A man is a man no matter what they call themselves. I don't care what they are, who they sleep with. Men's rooms are designed for the penis, women's not so much. Now you need law telling us differently. Pathetic." And then he was gone. A day later.
Yeah.
A day later.
That's crazy.
They ain't even give them time for them to start dropping sponsors and stuff. You said something that out of line that we ain't like, you know, before we lose sponsors, before we lose money. That's how these companies think nowadays. It's all about this money and this revenue they're bringing in.
Yeah.
These writers don't write that script for you. You can't say it. You only say what they tell you to say, which is crazy. Basically, you signing these contracts with these companies, you're just losing your whole independent thinking. You have to think how they think.
Exactly.
I have another question for you guys. You know, with the presidential race and everything like that going on, Hillary Clinton was on the Breakfast Club, and they asked her what does she carry around, and she said she's carrying around hot sauce. And they basically called her out and was like, hey, are you doing that just to get the black vote? And she said it's for the work or something to that effect.
Is it working?
Yeah, is it working? Yeah, something like that. What do you guys think about that?
I think that proves to me why nobody should be supporting her. Like, you know what I mean? She's pandering that, because that's what they saying. Is she pandering to black folk? Like, I don't respect. I mean, she never been. You feel me? Like, they never been on our side. You feel me? They've been playing that role since everybody was like, well, Bill Clinton, he was like the first black president. Like, they've been playing off that. Meanwhile, a lot of the stuff they did then didn't benefit black people. Mm-hmm. Even now, you feel me? Like, a lot of people vote because she's a woman.
Mike, what's his name? Supporting her, the people that just got the black folks that got
the mom, because she coming off the gun reform. You know what I mean? Like, that's a hot topic. You feel me? So, you know, with all these mass shootings, you know, she can get that off. Mm-hmm. She can get that off. That, you know, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I don't rock with her. I don't rock with her at all.
So you more on line for Bernie?
I didn't hear about that, but I mean, that's just ridiculous right there. Oh wow.
Yeah, they said basically she probably heard it in Beyonce's song, so she said she came around hot sauce.
I know damn well if Beyonce had that song out, she wouldn't be sitting up here talking about. First of all, she wouldn't be at no Breakfast Club radio station. I don't care what campaign trail you on. She damn sure wouldn't be at no Breakfast Club radio station. And then you know for a fact she wouldn't be sitting there talking about, oh, I carry hot sauce in my bag. I just told her pull it out. Let me see it. You carry hot sauce in your bag? I want to see it right now.
Mhm. Like, to answer your question, Sarita, about him off of Bernie, as far as that goes, as far as the Democrats go, yeah, I will vote for Bernie. But if John Kasich, the Republican dude, if he get that nomination, if they put him in there, you feel me? He'll get strong consideration from me. You feel me? Cause
I've heard that from a lot of people. A lot of people.
Yeah, he'll get some strong. Like, I like him. Be honest with you, he'll get my vote. I ain't even gonna sit here and stop. Like, I like Bernie, you know what I mean? But, you know, Bernie been missing for some years.
You think Bernie too old?
No. And by the age, I'm just saying he been missing. Like, they always bring up the stuff he been doing in civil rights back in the day, which is cool, respectable, and commendable. But now, I mean, what have you done for us lately? You know,
I've heard a lot of people say that at the Kasich dude, whether they were Democrats, Republicans, and you know, I listen to a lot of radio, and they say, you know, Kasich is a close run. Like if it had to come down to it, they would put him in there. And like I say, it don't matter who you are, Democrat or Republican. A lot of people are rolling with him.
Because he seems like he's so far. You know, I've been following stuff and. As it's been going on, like I said, I watch the shows every chance I get, and like, you know, you listen to the people talking, and like so far he hasn't really been like the loudest. You know, Donald Trump has been like screaming over everybody.
He's actually been the most presidential.
Yeah, he's been like, you know, yeah.
You know,
somebody has a picture of Michael Jackson and Prince together. I love it.
The little caricature, the painting.
Yeah, they sit on the cloud.
But one more thing before we go off, I know we might not be able to talk about a lot. But, I saw a lot of it on Facebook, Instagram. You know, the last day, Harriet Tubman being on the $20 bill.
Yes,
it's funny that you see a lot of. I see you say you for it, but I see a lot of people, of color. Yep, that's saying that, hey, you know, they just throwing us crumbs and say nothing big. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. I mean, I heard some people, in some ways, people bringing up good points. You know, they say, you know, money's going away. So, you know, you putting the black person on money's going away. We in a new day and age right now. Everybody pays with debit cards. They putting chips in debit cards and credit cards, so you don't even got to carry cash with you. But some people are saying, like, oh, you know, it's a good thing. We got a black person on money. they still putting Andrew Jackson on the back of the $20 bill. It goes both ways. I heard the argument from both sides of it. From some people are saying they all for it. Some people saying, hey, this ain't nothing. Black people get excited and hyped when they toss us little things like this. It's not something we should be hyped about. And say, we getting close to the end of the show. We might not be able to talk on this now, but
we could definitely readdress this. Definitely.
Yeah, because it's many layers to that, bro. There's many layers to that because let's be real. A lot of black people, but when they first start discussing it, well, I first heard about it probably about a few months ago personally when they first start discussing it, and I know a lot of black people were complaining because go back to the Raven-Symoné. So it's been more than a few months ago that she really ain't physically attractive enough to be on the bill. They don't like her look. Like they could have picked somebody else because she don't fit the look. Now, they could have picked another black person or somebody prettier.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So that's a whole other layer to it.
Well, definitely, we can do that next show. We can talk about that next show. Trending topic.
All right.
Sound like a plan to me. But want to thank you guys for listening to the show thus far. We appreciate our caller, Jabril, the other Jabril, not our co-host, Jabril. We thank you for calling in and sharing your input. We thank you for who are listening. We're going to shout out our Twitter information that you guys can contact us. Jabril, you want to go first?
Of course, always. JRO609 everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Google. Look it up, JRO609.
Clint?
You can catch me on Twitter at eTrentonGroomy. Hit up my blog at kingstruth.com. And, Snapchat, I'm on there too sometimes. I'm going to start being on there more regularly. I'm on King's Truth. That's my Snapchat as well. So
what's your blog?
kingstruth.com.
All right now, all right. I am Sunny, and you can follow me on Twitter at IamSunny_D. We also have the GFT Radio Show Twitter, which is GFT_radio. Hit me up on my blog, unreservedlyme.wordpress.com. You can follow me on Instagram, same thing, IamSunny_D. Follow me. Definitely thank you guys for listening tonight. We thank the caller yet again. We thank you guys for listening and just listening to our show. Hopefully you guys subscribe, share it to a friend, or one day call in and join in our discussions. So you already know next week we're talking about trending topics, so be on point and be ready for that. This will be uploaded on the YouTube channel on Sunday. Check out our website. It'll be there too on Sunday, www.gftradioshow.com. And subscribe to our YouTube channel once the video is up, and follow our blogtalkradio.com/GFTradioshow. Follow us that way you guys know when shows are coming, what time, and when to tune in. Thank you for listening, and you guys have a great night. Bye.
All right. All right, y'all.